Marriage is between a man and a woman. And in the marriage between a man and a woman, Allah explains at the beginning of Surah An-Nisa, the first ayah, وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَالنِّسَاءَ, that the purpose of marriage, purpose of marriage as explained by He who created you from a drop of sperm, and in whose hand is your life. In this verse, He says the purpose of marriage is children, procreation, so that mankind will survive. If you are to have children, how can a marriage of a man with a man produce children? How can a marriage of a woman with a woman produce children? And yet there's a tomorrow which is coming when every single government will have to bow. They'll have to bow before the UN, and before the IMF, and before the World Bank, and before this and that and the other, and they will have to enact legislation in every single Muslim country to legalize the marriage of a man with a man. It's coming. You don't believe me? Well, just wait and see. They're bowed in everything else so far, so they're going to bow in this as well, and prostrate. But marriage in Islam is between a man and a woman so children can be born. It's so simple. Why should we bow? Why should we bow to those who are seeking to get us to worship them rather than to Allah? And when you marry, Allah speaks of marriage as an institution that is meant for Jannah. For Jannah. Because the first marriage that took place was when Allah created from Adam alayhi salam, He created his spouse, Hawa alayhi salam. And then He said to both of them, Uskun anta wa zawjuka al-jannah. Go and dwell in paradise. And so the very essence of marriage is something that belongs to paradise, and hence something that is spiritual. And in Surah Ar-Rum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about marriage. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and amongst His signs is this: أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, that He has created for you from amongst your very mates, your very selves. He has created your mates, your spouses. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, that you might dwell with them in a state of sukoon. Sukoon is peace and contentment and tranquility. There are things in life which money cannot buy, and sukoon is one of them. And so marriage is for paradise. And in paradise, this is what you get, sukoon. And if you marry here in Allah's name, and you live in accordance with Allah's law, then you get a piece of paradise right here on earth. Because you're marrying in Allah's name, and you're living with her to please Allah.